If I seek the truth, I'll have to retrieve it from the Emperor herself. Cornelia said as much before her spirit left this realm. Only a fool would take that temptress at her word, but I do believe there is truth to her claim. Edelgard knows something. The Empire was surely involved in my father's death, and perhaps she was as well.
Hold on, Boar. You owe us all an explanation here. The Emperor is your stepsister?
My apologies. I suppose I never mentioned it.
So if I've got this straight, after you were born, your dad got remarried to her mom?
Correct. Though the truth of my stepmother's background was never revealed to the public, as you can imagine. Of course, all that is in the past now. There is no reason to keep hiding it from my closest allies.
Your Majesty, if I may, I can handle the explanation.
That will no doubt prove faster. You knew my father many years longer than I did.
It all started 20 years ago, when a dreadful plague ravaged Ferdiad. King Lambert's wife was among those claimed by its spread. In hopes of bringing an end to the epidemic, the king sought experts from across the land, scholars, doctors, mages. Among those, it was an imperial scholar by the name of Cornelia who finally turned the page on our suffering and put an end to the pestilence.
Oh yes, I've heard about that. She helped develop many of the districts in the capital as well, didn't she?
It's a little weird to think she's the one who planned out the places we all lived.
They even used to call her a saint. What could have happened to her to make her so different?
Interestingly enough, she never asked for any kind of reward for her feat. Well, at first. In lieu of any compensation, monetary or otherwise, she requested that we rescue one of her old friends from the Empire. Which is the story of how the late king came to meet his future wife, Lady Patricia. Or should I say, Lady Anselma.
I don't get it. Why would she need saving?
I'm not sure of all the details myself, but I know she was banished from the court after becoming involved in some sort of political dispute. Lambert always did have a soft spot for those in need. And of course, in the thick of all that, the two developed feelings for each other. It's difficult to say for sure if it was love, but it was something. Anyway, that's all I have.
Looking back on the events now, it's hard to know just how much of it was part of Cornelia's plot. In any case, I must learn more about my stepmother's death. I have no doubt it connects in some manner to the truth about the tragedy. Who was Cornelia working for? And what was Edelgard's role in all of it? If I truly want to know, well, there's only one person I can turn to.
You want to get answers from the Emperor of the very region we're at war with? Is that even possible? I mean, Edelgard is our enemy. She and her like have stamped the life out of so many of our allies. And we've done the same to hers. I don't see how the two sides could just sit down for a chat after all that.
Perhaps not. Make no mistake, she is still our bitter enemy. But I've no other choice. We've extracted all the information we could from the Western Lords. And as Cornelia has departed this world, the Emperor is the only one left we can turn to. Gustav, I'll be leaving reconstruction of the West to you and the Baron.
Understood, Your Majesty. Do you mean to make for Aryan Road?
Indeed I do. Even the most impregnable fortress in all Fodlan cannot hold off an onslaught forever. I know not how or when Edelgard will make her presence known, but we must hold the Silver Maiden, by any means necessary.
Azure Gleam. Reunion at the Fortress City. The Kingdom army crushes the Western Lords, and with them, the budding civil war. But amidst the chaos, Adrestia strikes at Aryan Road. Dimitri marches on the Fortress City at once, and challenges the Emperor herself to save those trapped within the Silver Maiden's walls.
Let's reacquaint ourselves with the situation. Our forces have already pulled out of Arendelle territory and withdrawn to the fortress city of Aryan Road. The same city which finds itself now besieged by the Imperial Army.
Most troubling, Your Majesty.
The Knights of Seiros dispatched their very best to the scene, but they find themselves at the sword end of the Emperor's personal guard. Still, the Citadel will not fall easily. The stalemate could continue for some time yet.
Can we really afford to wait, though? Aryan Road supplies have got to be running thin by now.
If we go without proper preparation, the Imperial Army will simply crush us.
Agreed. We should be using the time we have to strike in a manner most favorable to our situation. What we need to do is sever the Imperial supply chain. Then, overwhelm and exterminate the withering remains of Edelgard's army.
Hold on, you want to win the whole war in one go?
Indeed I do. We have been gifted the opportunity of a lifetime, and I do not intend to let it slip through my fingers. It will be a pincer attack, with the fortress at the Empire's front and our battalion at their rear. Even with their larger numbers, we will hold the advantage.
All the more so with the Knights of Seiros in charge of defending Aryan Road.
And even if the Emperor herself escapes, we'll have still dealt a huge blow to the Empire's military.
Oh, I feel nervous all of a sudden. I never expected we'd reach a decisive battle like this so soon. Will we truly be able to win?
We can do this. I know we can. The terrain here is in our favor. As long as we press that advantage, we'll come out on top.
Let us rally the troops, Your Majesty.
Yes. Onward to victory!
There we have it. The Empire and the Kingdom finally squaring off in broad daylight. What a fascinating development, and a troubling one.
I am well acquainted with that look of yours, Claude. What could you be scheming this time? If I recall, you made a similar face the other afternoon when we swept aside the Imperial Army ourselves.
Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I'm just contemplating the fate of the Alliance the only way I know how.
Don't worry about him, Lawrence. He doesn't always look it, but Claude takes this stuff seriously. I promise.
She's right, you know. I'm constantly thinking about our next plan of action. Thankfully, the Empire's turned its beady little eyes away from us for now. It seems they're focusing all their attention on the West. And we owe that title shift to Duke Gloucester's feigned betrayal. The former Duke Gloucester, I mean. Thanks to him, we managed to run the Empire clean out of Leicester. But there's more to their strategy shift than that.
Do you speak of the unrest within the kingdom? Such internal struggles would certainly leave them rather defenseless in the wake of an attack. But the situation may change anew at any moment. We mustn't grow complacent. If they emerge victorious against the kingdom, it is difficult to imagine what course of action the Imperial Army would take next.
Yeah. Whatever happens in this battle, it'll shape the future of Fodlan for years to come. I might be brilliant, but even I'm having trouble predicting who's gonna come out on top. But whoever it is, I'd bet anything we'll need to strike a deal to keep them at bay. I guess we should be ready for either outcome. Oh, and Lawrence, I'll be asking all sorts of little favors from you, so plan on being busy for a long while.
If needs must, I would do anything for the Alliance.
We can't stand in the crossfire between the Kingdom and the Empire forever. It's high time the Alliance grabbed the reins of history and started steering in our own direction.